Well, hello. This is Rochelle, and thank you for joining me here at the Creative Retreat YouTube channel. I'm so excited about this really great devotional by Andrea Lucado. It's called Perpetually Enough, and she starts off this devotional by telling me such a familiar story. She speaks of how there was an offering that is known as the Tamid, which means an offering for that is perpetual or continuous. So that's the offering that the Israelites gave. But then she speaks of her day and how she has the best intentions and does her tick list devotion and her tick list prayers. And before she knows it, she's into the day with hard feelings and um, getting angry and jealousy and sloth and consumerism and impatience. And so, even though she had the best efforts starting out the morning, it quickly turned into a perpetual sinning. And I love how she says this. She says, Fortunately, Jesus brings good news to our perpetual sinning and our perpetual efforts to stop sinning. John the Baptist introduces Jesus in this way: Behold the Lamb who takes away the sin of the world. And that's in John 1, verse 29, which is where I'm working in. And I put this, or I left this piece in here so that you can see fussy cutting. I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. So if you leave your scissors kind of still and you move the paper, it's much easier to kind of control those little small fine details than what it would be if you didn't hold your scissors still. So in fussy cutting, that's really that's really the only thing that you need to remember if you're not a good fussy cutter. So I printed my elements on normal cardstock 160 GSM paper, and I'm just going to be laying down a background. I used the rose quartz gelato for the pink color, but first just cleaning off my brushes. I really just run them over some paper towel to get most of the color off, and then I use the brush to pick up the pigment from the non-stick craft surface, and that's that. I do have brushes in the 7 kind of major color categories so that I don't make brown or mud in the end. So I've got this, like I said, rose quartz, and then the jade color. Beautiful, soft, shimmery pastel colors. I love that about this, and it fits well into this devotional and the colors in the devotional. Making sure I've got my Tombow mono multi-liquid glue everywhere so that I make sure that it covers and stays there. And I just cut a little bit of a slip in the middle of the book binding so that I know that it won't make paging through difficult. It's got that little kiss cut that I can just make sure that it's not stuck or unevenly opened. Oh my goodness. So with all of those best intentions, you know what I mean, I really identified with her, and I'm so thankful that Jesus then came. Jesus was the Savior. He was the Israelites' Messiah, but he was our Savior. So when he was led to slaughter on the cross, he performed a one-time sacrifice that covered sin for all time. So it is perpetually enough. The price that was paid, I can't work for it more, and I don't have to work for it more. I just need to, in my response to him, in my love response to him, show him that I don't want to sin. I'm repentant, and so that's that. I did use a piece of Glad wrap press and seal just to keep my elements in place before I stuck them down, so that when I lift them up I can put the glue on the back and then stick them down onto the page. And then inking up my date stamp with a big brush marker in the same kind of green. I'm just putting down the date in which I'm working on this and highlighting my verse using my Faber-Castel Potatoes pens. But first let me get all of my little hearts, because I really want to put the hearts on this page as well. And so it's kind of this bouquet of flowers going up into these hearts, and my title is Good News, so it is good news. I've got this iridescent shimmer that I kind of want to apply to the half of each hearts, and then a little bit of it onto the little flowers. And I'm so sorry, the camera really doesn't pick up the color well at all, but it's there and it's gorgeous and I love it. So I did want to splatter some of that as well. And so I'm just taking my big little fan brush and splattering it, a bigger little fan brush than that small round brush that I used. And then, like I said, highlighting my verse with my Faber-Castel Potatoes pens. These do not bleed through even this little pocket journal book, so that is exciting. I did not prep any of the pages and it didn't bleed through, so that's great news. And just outlining the piece. And then I wanted to write, like I said, that little piece that Andrea put in the devotional, saying, fortunately, Jesus brings good news to our perpetual sinning and our perpetual efforts to stop. And that's Jesus. Thanks for joining me, guys. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.